Hello Rover fans, it's time for a soggy winter update. It's the 1st of December. I've not done any videos in a very long time because of work, a baby and all sorts of other stuff that's going on. But I thought I would update you because I know a few people have asked what's going on, where are the videos, all that sort of thing. So I've borrowed my wife's phone, which is a Samsung, which I've never used before, to do a video because my iPhone has died, and that's another reason I haven't done any videos, because I don't really have much to show you in terms of sections of video. But let's start with the diesel. Last time you saw it, I think I was cleaning the carpet and putting the carpet and the heater matrix and the dash back in. So that is, you know, it doesn't look like there's been a lot of progress, but I have stolen a few hours every now and then to get things done. So the dash is in place. I was working through the instrument clusters because this left side just wasn't working at all. So I've got myself I've got a lot of these. I've probably got 7 or 8 different sets, and I was just going through those. That's a new column stalk set because the left side of the one that's in the car was knackered. So I was going through some of the electrics, and I was also testing stuff like door looms and window regulators so that I can fit them. But really the biggest change has been the sunroof is now in its final position. The headlining is all retrimmed and the sun visors are up. I just need to fit these brackets up there, but my drill packed up, so I couldn't do that. But yeah, the sunroof is in, headlining is in, looks really nice, works really well. He says if you're sat in the car it works fine, but there you go. And then when you pull it forward, obviously it goes up and locks. So I have done a lot of footage on that because it's a real pain to adjust these sunroofs, so people might find that helpful. Other than that, really it's just bits and pieces of the trim going back in, grab handles, interior lights, seat belts, all that good stuff. In the engine bay, I don't think there's really been many changes. I had to disconnect the heater pipes down here to do the heater matrix. I need to reinstate that. But other than that, it's all as it was. I've got a new cold start enrichment cable to go onto the lever down there because the old one was split and frayed, but that's easy. The other thing I've been doing is obviously the Twin Plenum Vitesse. It's still on the rotisserie. I've been gathering, painting and rebuilding bits and pieces for the suspension. So starting at the front, we have a new rack, drumstick ends, but I'm not happy with them, so I'll find new replacements. I had a whole load of bits and pieces blasted and then zinc coated. I don't usually reuse bolts, but those are the caliper bolts and those are the caliper locking plates, so I wanted them original. These are the front subframe bolts. They're replacements because the originals were either snapped or knackered. At the back I had the handbrake compensator bracket passivated with its special nut and bolt, and then these may look like standard bolts, but they're not. These are trilobular tap tight bolts, so when you look at them they have a triangular profile. It's really difficult to see on camera. Maybe you can see if I do that, but it's not round, it's triangular, and they are special for the training arm mounts and also for some of the hardware that goes onto the back for the Watts linkage, these bits. So we have a Vitesse Watts linkage with decent bushes in it. So Vitesse has non-void bushes. They're solid. Well, they're not solid, they're rubber, but I mean, they don't have holes in them like a standard car. I think they might be slightly different lengths, I'm not sure. Back to the front, yeah, decent subframe, all cleaned up. Brand new track control arms, painted. These are Monroe, I believe, legs with inserts. They're non-adjustable, but they're pretty stiff. Big chunky springs. I don't know what the rate is, but they were just on the car when I got it. But what's interesting is if you jack the car up, there is no preload, so those springs are loose, which is a lot easier when you put the top mounts on and off. Bushes for training arms, These are the Monroe, I believe, again, or might be Leader, I can't remember, but adjustable rear dampers. And it brings us to the rear axle. That is the rather special Salisbury LSD inside an SD1 axle, rebuilt with new wheel bearings, new back plates, new wheel cylinders, seals, all the rest of it. And it's quite a weird one because it has this brace on it, this flat piece welded on. That's what they used to do on the rally cars, so somebody did it to this one. I can't remember if I've introduced this car before, but it was one of the first 50 Twin Plenum Vitesses, and was converted, or built as a single plenum, then converted by Lotus to twin plenum, and then sent back to the factory and kept as a development car, which is why it had weird things like the funny rear axle, additional window seals, the oil cooler in a different place, weird stuff like that. What else have I got to tell you about? The Janspeed Turbo V8 for the drift car. The turbo is in a box somewhere down there. Basically, I've been working my way through that engine. There's one hilarious and quite frightening thing I found. I don't know whether I'll be able to find it quickly on camera or not. Maybe it's in here. Basically, it's probably buried somewhere. It was assembled about 3,000 miles ago by somebody, and he bought all of his parts from Rimmer Brothers, and he bought the cheapest of the cheap, shitty, crappy pattern parts. And basically, the nylon teeth on the sprocket had worn down to nothing. So this is a crappy pattern part one. It was the same as this, and basically the nylon teeth had disappeared. So it was in the gnat's cock of losing its timing, which wouldn't have been good at all. I'll dig it out and show it in another video because it's quite alarming. And the other interesting thing is just the comparison between different types of chain. So if you compare a Land Rover chain with... is that one? Right, okay. This isn't planned. It might not work very well. But basically, if you look at the dangle of that chain, it doesn't drop off a lot. It's quite stiff with the links. Compare it to this thing, which is a pattern part one. It's floppy as anything. It just dangles. It's super slack and it's super crap. So if you are building a V8, don't buy the crap chains. Just always have genuine Land Rover stuff. Yeah, not much to report really. A lot of that needs going through. There's some hilarious bodges on the inlet side, which, you know, is going to have to go in the bin. But fundamentally, that's a good engine. I am fitting a new camshaft and followers. This one is getting the 4.6 litre top hat block with big valve heads and a twin plenum setup. That is just a 3.5 Range Rover engine with a turbo bolted on the side, and that's for the drift car. Other things for the diesel, that is the seats. There's two pairs of front seats that I'm stripping, rebuilding and retrimming to make one good pair for this. And then that is the fuel tank for this guy, and the underbelly plate and the fuel pump bracketry. All of that needs painting. It's been blasted and zinc primed, but it needs final tough gloss paint. But yeah, over the next few weeks, hopefully over Christmas, I'll have this thing back on its wheels. Even in a temporary setup, it will be pushed against that wall, which will limit my space, but it's just got to be done like that. Once it's on its wheels, the diesel can be driven out, this can be towed out, and I can respray the engine bay, respray the interior, and then this can start being assembled. As part of that assembly, we have air conditioning. So that is the aircon main box, that is the side box, and they need all stripping, blasting, cleaning, much the same process as I did on the diesel, albeit it's a bit more problematic because it's air conditioning, so it has lots of pipes and valves and stuff like that, which will need checking and going through these little guys. So all of the flaps are operated by vacuum rather than mechanical linkages. So yeah, fun times. Anyway, I've run out of things to say. I may not do another video before Christmas, so enjoy the festive period, enjoy Christmas, and hopefully I'll do some proper videos soon. Okay, bye.